Good afternoon, everyone. It is Monday, June 16th, 2025. We had a massive short squeeze in the market today. And this is another example of how to turn fear into profit. And we had a pretty good call last week. We'll talk about that and a few other things here. But first, again, if you like the content, please give the video a thumbs up. Helps out the channel very much. Appreciate each and every one of you guys here. Also, come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. We got a sale going on this month still, and that'll be through July 11th. So get in on that. 60% off first month of the trading room and 30% off of swing trades. Really good deal there. We're going to have some good moves this summer, and we've already had a pretty action-packed summer, even though the tape has been on the quieter side here in tighter ranges, but there is still lots of trades out there like the one today and really through last week. But let's get into it here. So again, just I want to preface everything, and I've been saying this like a lot the last, really over the weekend, but just should be so everyone's clear. What I'm about to say here is something that's, this is job description, right? Versus actual real world human thoughts and emotion, right? So there's a difference, when it comes to making money, you have to turn off whatever emotion, you have to turn off whatever your political feelings are, and look at things logically and impartially, right? And again, I can't tell you how many messages I got over the weekend about, Aaron, the market's going to crash money, the market's going to crash money, sending me headlines of every other tweet from, so-and-so, oh, there's sirens in Tel Aviv. Oh, this is that. Oh, did you see this video of a rocket blowing? Hold on, slow down. It doesn't matter how many videos of, missiles hitting a building back and forth are shown. Bottom line, is there another country getting involved? Yes or no? Nope. Then it's just another rocket video, right? It's what happens. It's war, right? Nothing's changed. And the market knew that. We talked about this last week, and I said, look, I don't think they're really that. In fact, I talked about it Thursday before they even invaded. I said, we're going to see an uptick in volatility here, but it's probably not going to last based on what I'm seeing from dealers. And you can even see here, I talked about this morning. If you watch the video I did last night, they were still negatively hedged as of the close Friday, right? But none of that rolled into open interest. This is what SPX looked like this morning. This is very positive here. And so all those negatives, that 6,000, it was all red. So, that flipping. So that tells me dealers didn't even bother holding hedges into the weekend. That's how convinced they were that this was a non-event. And they really knew, smart money knew this was contained. We didn't see any big floor trades on the VIX or anything either. Nothing like what we saw in February or in December. So we already had a pretty good idea that this was just going to be a quick burst of volatility and right back up. Again, this is one of my specialties here. This is what I do. I catch right tail events in the market, and you can see, looking at the futures here, we had the gap down, and the sweep of the low, and there's your long entry right there, and very nice price action here overall. For ES, we have a contract roll here. That's why I have the U up there. Chart's not quite lined up. It'll be updated more so tomorrow. But again, bottom line here is you got to turn those emotions off. I know it's difficult sometimes, but those emotions will betray you as a trader, and you're not going to make money. So, and if you're aware of them, and everybody else is losing their head, then you can take advantage of them. So again, this is not the compassion Aaron talking. This is the I'm trying to make you money Aaron talk, right? So that's it. Leave all that other stuff at the door. And if you want to talk about political stuff, start a political channel and talk about it there. And then you can talk about how that relates to your trades if you want. But that's not what we're doing here. We're here to make money, and that's what we do. So anyway, overall, very nice right tail event, and pretty good squeeze. Really not much else to say. NASDAQ closing up, and I thought we would, we actually exceeded my targets today. I was looking for, we had 60, 25, and 30 kind of laid out on SPX, and then 60, 50 was a bonus, and we, top ticked that perfectly. 60, 50, spot 83 was high of the day. There is a little bit of interest tomorrow at, well, there was interest really all day at 607 on SPY. It's not really there for tomorrow. I'm wondering if that converts to OI, but it's really that why I find that interesting is because that essentially lines up with 6100. So you definitely have a tail up there for tomorrow. I don't think we're going to see a ton of action tomorrow, to be honest. I think it'll be a little bit more of a digestion day. Remember, we have the Fed coming up. Either way, going into the end of the week here, and by the way, I will not have, just a reminder, I'll be traveling later this week. I probably won't have any video out Wednesday. But yeah, I don't see us breaking this range here. I just don't see us going past 61 or 59 right now, to be entirely honest. And I think the FOMC is just going to be a trap fest, but we'll see about that. And then we have OPEX triple witching, highest, most amount of premium ever. So it's just, I think we're going to be pinned pretty well. But yeah, market, fought off the invasion, and again, another kind of another buy the invasion setup here. But I mean, even, again, I talked about this Friday too. I mean, look at the defense stocks. Northrop Grumman can't even make can't even fill the gap here. Lockheed Martin can't even make a local high. Does that look like the market's concerned? I don't think so. I think smart money would have gapped that above the 200 easily. And, amongst other things. But anyway, that's where I'm at here. So I would say still kind of give the market the upside bias and inside of a range. The Fed, it's priced in that they're not going to cut. I think we did see rate cut odds increase a little bit recently, but that's for September, so it doesn't really matter. But right now, again, big tight pin, really, even at 6,000 in general. And we can stay right in this range for the next couple of weeks and still fill out a base. And when this base breaks, it's going to have a big trend. QQQ here, up 7 points, nice move. And again, basing beneath all-time highs. Nothing wrong with that. And again, we'll talk about this too. This is another thing we've been talking about lately. Everybody's favorite thing in the world, the fabled rising wedge, right? The legendary rising wedge. It's like, there you go, there's your break, right? And it's right back up. So yeah, you had a rising wedge, and guess what? Now you don't have it anymore. It's already corrected itself. So that's why you shouldn't fall in love with these patterns here, especially when the trend is this strong. And it's one of the things we really stressed out the last, really, since back here, since everybody was calling for a crash because of that wedge. But nonetheless, yeah, good price action here. IWM, nice bounce. RTY, I like that daily candle. So they closed it just below, and then boom, nice rebound today with volume. So RTY holding up, Diamond holding up, SMH very strong today, up 2.5. IGV acting very well. Palantir, you can complain about the valuation all you want, but it keeps going up. Up 2%, actually up 3% here. Microsoft made a new intraday all-time high as well. Oracle here down 2%, but really strong there also. So cloud continues to be one of my market leaders. Transport's up 1.5, still working on an inverse head and shoulder there. No real changes in rates. They were up a little bit here. 10-year, hanging in there. And 30 still pretty strong. Housing, again, XHP hanging in there. Inside day, though, so laggard. VNQ is actually firming up nicely. I do like what this is doing. I think this is an interesting sector here going into next couple of weeks and a quarter. Good bounce for XLF. Take a look at JPM, trying to break out of that range there. KRE got a bounce. I think, yeah, Goldman and Morgan Stanley had, so they came off the highs, but they were up a little bit more earlier. But banks finishing in the green, XBD making new all-time highs. Again, oil down big. It's holding the gains, though. I'll say that, even though we didn't have escalation for the most part, it didn't challenge Friday's low, so that's a bullish sign, even though it was, had a pretty substantial reversal. It held Friday's low. That said, I can't do anything with this here, and I'm not regretting selling my UGA on Friday at this point, because there's just too much. Like, this needs to. There's so much noise here at this point. Not noise, but like, it's just straight up. Like, looking at like an intraday, even like a 4 hour. Yeah, we back tested this pivot, but we could easily. You get some sort of treaty news or deal news. This can go right back to 64 and fill that out, and then it maybe, who knows, maybe it goes higher after that. But right now, this is way too wide of a range, way too wide. Right? Like, I mean, look at what happened the last time we had a spike like this, right, with Russia, Ukraine. You know, oh, I've been wanting to buy the dip, so you buy here immediately, and then you get flushed out, right? You don't want to do that. Let the pattern tell you if it's going to hold up and go higher or not first. Don't just assume. But yeah, XLE down 26 cents. Held up though. XOP managing to close green, and OIH, down $1.66. The energy stocks held up. Nat gas getting a good bounce today too. Higher lows there. Dollar was up a little bit today, or oh no, it was down. It came off. Yeah, it came off the lows though. Again, still kind of a weak low right here. I think that can squeeze up, at least in the near term. But the trend is down on the dollar right now. Basically, almost an engulfing on gold here. Really close. Like really close. Oh, they saved that at the last second, it looks like. But still a gap in crap day. Again, not surprising, right, given what happened. I don't think this is ready to break out at all. But, it's still strong, obviously. Not saying to fight it, but what's interesting, though, silver up 2 cents. Silver acting like nothing is happening here. And I'll tell you right now, there is volatility coming on the 4 hour on silver. That's tight. Right? Maybe the Fed's the catalyst. That is real tight. That was tight this morning. It's even tighter now. Look at that. Yeah, so volatility is definitely coming in silver here. See, it'd be interesting to see if it pumps beforehand. Platinum up 2.34, again, engulfing on Friday. Again, let that range fill out. Let this digest this move. Don't rush in to buy the first dip here. I mean, we don't even know. This could just be a, like, what is stopping this from being another one of these, right? This, right? Nothing's saying that right now. So don't rush in to buy the first red you see, especially on a thin metal like this. Same thing with palladium, although palladium, not as overbought. It's actually kind of hanging in there. All right, this chart's trying to turn back up. Oh yeah, copper here was green. Again, still trying to establish a trend in a base. We're going to reclaim 490. It's got some legs. Lastly, Bitcoin. And here's another clue about, just over the weekend. I didn't see like any sort of risk-off action in Bitcoin at all over the weekend. And we didn't even take out Friday's low. Like, we didn't even challenge it. And again, Bitcoin right back above 105, 106. You tell me, is there anything wrong with this structure? Doesn't look wrong to me. We're at all-time highs. We're basing here after making an all-time high. The trend is up. Maybe needs a little more time, but looks good. The Bitcoin's going up. That means there's liquidity sloshing around. At least that's what I would imagine. All right. And we did have a huge treasury injection too. But anyway, yeah, market's finishing up 1%. And tune all that noise out. Let that, that's for the birds. That's for the pikers who chase and get, let their emotions control them. There's no place for that in trading. You want to talk politics? That's fine. I'm not saying anybody can or can't do that. I understand it's a hot topic, but keep it out of your trading. It's just not going to serve you. And that's coming from a decade and a half of experience. So, but anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here. Again, you guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I will see you guys all tomorrow.